takeaways from tonight's game and this series with the Nailers?
I'm extremely disappointed with how that third period went. Like, I walk in after the second period, and it's a good game. Like, we're in a close game, we're in a tight game, we're out shooting them. Like, we're holding the top team in the league down pretty good. Those two goals they scored, dumb mistakes on us in D zone where we're just running around, we're not playing our positions properly, but we respond. And it's a 1 goal game going into the third period, right? That's fine, right? It's going to happen. But to give up a goal 25 seconds into the period because we flamingo on a block shot, basically get out of the way of a block shot, and we're not strong enough net front to clear a guy out, like that's the issue. And it's disappointing because those two players are our captains and they're not leading by example. And I'm extremely frustrated with how that turns out because the margins between our team and that team right now really aren't much. Really. Do they have 10 guys injured? No. Did we compete in these games this weekend? Yeah. But the margins for being so small, the results are pretty big. Right? They got 4 points in the division this weekend, we didn't. So to give up a goal 25 seconds into the period because we can't block a shot, like there's unwritten rules in hockey. Like you block shots, you get in the way. It hurts, it sucks, but that's what wins games. And to have our captains, our leaders not do that it's pretty embarrassing.
What do you think the team is missing as a unit? What do you believe is the overall factor?
We have 10 guys injured, so we have no cohesion, we have no chemistry. Like I'm pulling guys off the couch to come and play just so we have enough bodies. And once again tonight we lost another guy, possibly two, from this game. So the reality of our situation is it's the next man up mentality, but our next man up isn't doing the job. And we haven't had a lot of time to practice with these guys. Once again, I'm having to literally call them 11, 12 o'clock at night, 1 o'clock in the morning just to try to get bodies here so we can field a full lineup. Because every team we're playing has a full lineup, and it's not fair to our team, our players, our fans to just keep dressing short. So that's a huge factor in what we're dealing with right now.
As frustrating as it is, how are you personally and professionally navigating the hardships of having so many injuries?
The hard thing about injuries is they're out of your control. And, if we speak on Ivan Mongo, who hasn't even been here this year, he gets hurt over the summer in training. So we lose a top player on our team, a leader on our team before the year even starts. So how do I navigate that personally? I just accept it and move on because there's nothing I can do. Professionally, like I said, I've had to find other players to fill the void. And the unfortunate part is the players I'm filling the void with aren't necessarily to the caliber of players they're replacing, to say that politically correct. And we don't have time to we haven't had time to practice with these guys. We haven't had time to teach these guys. We're throwing them into the fire again still with our schedule. And even in talking with Eric this morning, we're going to be at 28 games before Christmas, right? And other teams are barely going to be over 20. And so personally, professionally, it's frustrating to work and try to build something and just have it all ripped out from under you because guys unfortunately get hurt. So it's the reality of our business. It's the reality of what we have to deal with as coaches. I feel like the staff and I are doing as best we can to replace what we're losing, but there's only so many players available for us to get in here.
Despite this series results and the results over the first half of the season, are you satisfied at all with the level of effort from your team? Loaded question, I'm sorry.
We don't compete long enough, for hard enough, consistently enough. Do we compete in every game? Absolutely we do. There's probably been one, maybe two games of the 26 we've played this season that we have not competed at all. And those two games we lost and we didn't even deserve to win. every other game we've been in, right? It's a 2-1 game with 20 minutes left tonight going into the third period. Like, that's anybody's game still in this sport. So their effort level, all that stuff, like, yes, we compete, but once again, we don't have players that can do it long enough, for hard enough, consistently enough to get us over the hump.
Last one, you mentioned your leadership on the ice. How do you feel your leadership is holding up off the ice in the room?
Well, for me, I tie on the ice to in the room. And our leadership group has done a great job away from the rink, away from here, with what they do, with how they hang out, with the setup for how they live. There's very good, cohesion with them away from the arena, which is nice. We need to now get that somehow into the arena. We need to get that into the locker room. Our leaders need to lead. Our best players need to be our best players every game. It doesn't matter. And we are struggling some because it is a lot of responsibility for our captains and our leaders. And I'm throwing a lot on them, and I expect a lot from them. And maybe that's to my own demise for having too high of standards or trying to build a new culture and build a new reputation for this organization of what we're trying to do. But everybody in that room can be a leader. It's not just the guys that actually wear letters. And we need more guys to buy in and step up and commit to the process, because it's a long year. By no means are we out of anything. And I truly do believe, whether I'm out of my mind or not, that at one point here when we get healthy, we're going to go on a good run. But we got to get healthy first, because losing 1 to 2 guys every game right now is killing us. Because right now, again, I have to go get on the phone and find more players to bring in this week so we have a team.
Do you feel that you could be a second half of the season type of team with a comeback, with a proper Philadelphia team?
I mean, I don't ever want to be a comeback team, right? Like, I would like to set the standard early enough that if we do have a slump, we've already established what we've done, right? And if you want to compare apples to apples right now with Wheeling, if Wheeling at any point goes on a 5, 6, 10 game slump, they're fine, right? They've set themselves up nicely before Christmas. And unfortunately for us, we haven't. And we're battling with 4 other teams near the bottom of the division, because 3 teams in our division have separated themselves. So I'm not worried about those 3 teams. All you have to do is get into a spot, and then anything can happen. To be cliche, I would say, the standings don't really matter till February, but we can't get so far out of this race that we can't catch up. Even last year, we got eliminated in game 70 of 72. So to call us a second half team, it's hard to say. We're not there yet. But I do know we need to start getting some wins here, and we need to start collecting some points, especially in our division, and setting ourselves up for when we are healthy and full and whole again.
Good. Coach, thank you for your time.
Thanks.